Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Plotlines. I'm your host, Connor, and I hope everyone is having a good Friday evening wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you've been looking forward to this live stream. As I've said previously, I'll be doing a live stream like this every Friday. Now, I put out a poll to try and see what time worked best for everyone, or what got the most interest for the live stream, and that came back. At first, it seemed like 11 my time, 11 a.m. my time was going to be it, or 3 o'clock my time, 3 p.m. But then it turned out that people also voted for 7 p.m. So I'm kind of doing just tests to see what works best. And this last week I did 3 o'clock. Now I'm doing 7. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, so it's just I have a few topics for discussion for this live stream, including the things going on with USAID, which I don't know if many of you have heard it being called USAID. In some ways, that's a misleading nomer. It's not actually about aid. It is about international development. The full name of the agency is the U.S. Agency for International Development. So it is not an agency that is, specifically there in order to, I don't know, get help impoverished countries or stuff like that. It's more about control. It's more about a way of the CIA basically indirectly funding different aspects of other people's society and our society in order to manipulate the populace. And the insane elements that they've been funding, is a perfect example of why it's very good that this organization is being defunded or destroyed or just dismantled, moved under the Secretary of State. Though I think Marco Rubio probably has wanted to do this for a long time. Um, uh, yeah, if anybody has questions, welcome to ask it. I'm not sure if I'll be able to answer it fully at the moment, but I can always come back to it in the future. So freely ask away. But USAID, um, I'm not live, or I'm not on video right now. It's just just to maybe in the future we'll do more of that, but just this episode I'm not visual, but but I will be showing videos on the or things on the screen, so people will be able to look at that. Hold on, I'm just pulling up my X feed. So here it is. This is just sort of elements of what's being funded. Let's listen to the press secretary,
who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be, they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this. But then they're very quiet about the fact that there are still North Carolinians and people in California who have lost everything. And in the last 4 years, this federal government did nothing to help them. This president will continue to put Americans first. And I think the successes of this week so far speak to that. And it's only Wednesday. So I'll see you guys later this week, and we'll see you this afternoon.
This is very much on point for what the administration has been driving at regarding, taking care of those that are around, that surround you, that are your immediate neighbors, those who or your family members, those that that you have a responsibility, an immediate responsibility to assist. And this has been a bit controversial, at least to Democrats, as they have tried to throw people's Christian faith back at them as an example for why they should, or why they need to fund these types of programs. Oh, because they're funding poor in Kazakhstan or something. I don't know. It's combating misinformation. The irony is that it's not really, the point actually of what someone like Marco Rubio or JD Vance are more pointing out also, and the press secretary are driving at, that in many ways this is just an ideological fund to support various different organizations across the world in order to manipulate um, basically our allies, our enemies, and ourselves. And they're using USAID and the taxpayers' money in order to do that. And it's if they keep up with that sort of mentality, it will probably be very effective. Another example.
DEI musical.
You're watching live coverage
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
So that's that. Another element was that that Politico was getting millions of dollars in subscriptions from the U.S. government, which is basically more or less probably propping them up as a news organization. And this is kind of the concern, is that that the government is funding different media organizations in order to provide a specific narrative that the federal government had been driving towards and trying to sort of put the wool over our eyes and make sure that we are only thinking about basically the most kind of insane stories, or being told basically just to think that I like the Politico tried to debunk the Hunter Biden laptop. That was a big example. Of course, we know that was true. That was something that the intel officers had tried to say that was Russian misinformation, but of course that has been proven to be facts instead. So this kind of manipulation, they're funding, though they call it something else. They sort of try and play word salads in order to make people think, oh no, this isn't what I'm seeing, trying to convince somebody that what they're seeing is not what they're seeing, which is very difficult. And you can only do that for so long. And I think that's kind of where the dam's breaking. This is becoming more obvious to people. People are checking out of sort of democratic politics. The mainstream media, or the corporate, or whatever, the legacy media is dying in viewership continuously, and people are not buying it. And the polls are showing that Trump is above water in popularity for like the first time ever during his presidency, which is pretty impressive for him. And we'll see if that continues, because if they continue to sort of basically stand in the way of what most people see as ridiculousness, because that's what USAID is kind of showing, is just how ridiculous the Democratic Party is, the sort of the leadership, the the congressmen, and those who are protecting USAID as they're trying to sort of make this narrative about they want to protect you or your money, which is, or they've also called it their money, which it's not their money, it's the taxpayers' money. Protect the taxpayers' money from Elon Musk, which of course, being that Trump has appointed Elon Musk, this of course is what people voted for. People voted for Trump to make these types of decisions and to be able to make those decisions. And his decision is to grant Elon Musk the access to basically audit these types of organizations, which is by definition what what the purpose of an election is. It's not specifically just to only make the president the president. The president also has the powers to appoint people to various different positions, and of course, those positions, if they're by law supposed to be confirmed by the Senate, they will be confirmed by the Senate. But Trump made a new thing called Doge, and it's not really I'm not really sure how much it's technically connected to the government. It's kind of its own little thing, but Trump can grant people access to the information that Doge is trying to achieve. And there's also been sort of this scandal, if you can call it a real scandal or anything like that, of just young people being hired by Elon Musk for Doge, which um, AOC was complaining about, which is hilarious because, of course, she's very young as well, and not the brightest bulb, to be honest. But she's complaining about people of youth, even though she being part of Doge, even though by most accounts, people like her had always been arguing for younger voters, younger members of our country to get involved in politics and to be a part of this and to get roles in the government, but of course it's really just means they need to be democratic politicians or bureaucrats that we like, and that's really the point. So Elon Musk is sort of a big driving force, but also in some ways, people probably think he's a little more of the driving force just because he has a massive platform and he uses that. And people like saying how much he's involved because it's a big story. That's basically it's. If you can draw Elon Musk into the story, if you can use him and talk about him, you'll get more attention, and that's what's happening. Though of course he is a big element to the whole thing. So um, yeah. So Biden became a Freemason recently, which is not really surprising. Just kind of it kind of sort of perfectly ends his reign as president of the United States. I believe he was made um I think he was made a member of the Freemasons a day before he gave up the presidency to Donald Trump. So which is quite a way to end the presidency. I mean, he also had pardoned his family members. He had pardoned Fauci and the January 6th committee and all of those people. So this isn't just the only thing that he's done. It's not. He went out with sort of a bang, so to speak. Now, of course, to most people, this probably doesn't really matter to them. It doesn't really affect them. He's out anyways. But as a Catholic myself, and he is supposedly a Catholic, though it is my understanding that this is definitely a cause, and it probably does result in a default excommunication from the Catholic Church. But Biden, of course, there's a prohibition against Catholics becoming Freemasons, and this goes all the way back to the French Revolution and the Freemasons being an integral part of attempting to destroy the Catholic Church. And it's heretical belief, the heretical beliefs of the Freemasons include sort of a universalism, sort of this brotherhood of man, that you can kind of think about it as in like the that terrible song by John Lennon. um what is it, like, imagine there's no imagine, that's what the song is. It's very much sort of the spirit of um the Freemasons. And of course, they have many other different aspects that make them that are objected, or the Catholic Church objects to, especially sort of the secret society element of it. I believe Catholics are forbidden from participating in secret societies. Um, and the Catholic Church, still to this day upholds the belief that they should Catholics should be banned from going into the Freemasons and such things as that. So of course, the Masonic lodges foster pantheism, rationalism, and a naturalist view of the world. It's very much materialistic, but also sort of quasi spiritual. It's unclear sometimes what they believe, because a lot of that is um a lot of that is kept from us, obviously, as it is a secret organization. And you can only sort of guess sometimes what they're up to, but that's that's one of the reasons why a secret organization is not or is frowned upon by the Catholic Church. um, you really don't know what their purpose is, you don't know what they're doing, and they basically put themselves out as sort of a charitable sort of club, and that's just a front. So it's really telling that Biden joined the Freemasons. It's kind of like um, it should be a wake up call for anybody who's still thinking that somebody like Biden would be or should still be viewed as something of um, a devout Catholic or something. He's not a practicing Catholic. He's not a devout Catholic. He has basically excommunicated himself by this, but also probably through his advocacy of abortion as well. So then again, is he, demented and completely dead, basically dead mentally? I don't know. That's kind of that's harder to determine. Sometimes he seems like he's lucid. Sometimes he seems like he's out of it. Is this his does he know what he's doing? I don't know. That's hard to determine, but I think it's pretty clear, especially at least from the people that are around him. They definitely hate the Catholic Church and they're out to destroy it. And they've done everything that they can to destroy the faith as well as to destroy our country in this with the same effort. Basically, I mean, not that you couldn't have the USA without the Catholic Church. Of course, you could theoretically. I mean, not that I mean, Catholics have existed in the U.S. the entire time it's existed, but the point more so is that much of what is being attacked in our country is also is supposed to be defended by the Roman Catholic Church. Whether you agree with the Catholic Church or not, that's just kind of how it is. Marriage, sort of uh, the sort of non basically anti-liberalism, which of course, though much of liberalism is embraced by the United States. And Freemasons, in some sense, though they are destroying our society, they are also representatives of basically what most Americans believe. Indifferentism towards religion, um, the belief in just the brotherhood of man, and that's all that matters, and that, sort of human values. Yeah. So, I mean, just sort of universalism, naturalism, that sort of thing. Live and let live. That's very much of a to some degree, a Freemasonic idea. Though, of course, they wouldn't. They don't leave and let live. Catholics or Christians trying to live out their faith, they want to impose some sort of, I guess, anti-theist worldview on society. So it's sort of, sometimes they just are using liberalism in order to destroy society, but they're also sometimes using completely anti Christian methods in order to uh, destroy the remnants of our culture and our society that is based in Christianity. Now, one of the funniest things that's come out, and in some ways sad things that's come out of the Trump administration. I mean, I would say this isn't surprising, I guess. It's just something that I think should be addressed, and we should recognize that it's kind of comical with Trump and with sort of the current state of the Republican Party. There's a lot of weird aspects to it, a lot of, I guess, leftovers from the old Democratic Party, and I mean old like the 90s Democratic Party and stuff like that, because in some ways, I mean, Trump became a Republican in the 90s, so much of who he knows and who he got support with and he works with are old liberals. Anyways, so one of the funniest things was this woman, this televangelist, uh, fake pastor, Paula White, who apparently has been sort of Trump's, quote unquote minister since like 2002. She is she's a televangelist, but also involved in the sort of Protestant charismatic or independent charismatic movement, which also has an element of the prosperity gospel, which is just cringe and pretty, it's just sort of making money off of Christianity, really. In some ways, it's basically, it's very much the reverse of classical Christianity. Anyway, so let's listen to her. She was appointed White House to the White House Faith Office, which is a new creation by Donald Trump, and it's just it's just embarrassing. First of all, female preachers, female ministers, anything like that is, I'm totally against, and I think it's ridiculous. But just, she brings it to sort of an 11 of cringeworthy. So let's. I'm sorry to have you guys listen to this, but this is just how ridiculous this appointment is. She's supposed to be sort of defending Christians from sort of persecution or something, but I don't know if she would even be qualified to be considered a Christian.
Strike and 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 strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. For I hear victory, 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 victory in the corridors of heaven. In the corridors of heaven, victory, 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 victory. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda aka ata raka teda baka sanda ata.
Part of the charismatic movement is sort of this speaking in tongues. So this is what I think, that's what this is what she's doing, which is, not how speaking in tongues in the sort of biblical sense. The biblical sense was basically you would speak another language that you hadn't previously known, but it'd be the language of the person you'd need to talk to. This is just gibberish.
ambo osa katarite eke banda atarike didi
Also, I love the
ashata.
guy who's just
For
walking
angels have
back
even
and forth. I think that's
dispatched
kind of
from
hilarious.
Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. From Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. In the
He's
name
also
of
dressed
Jesus, from South
really
America.
oddly.
They're coming here. They're coming here.
No.
They're coming here. They're coming
But
here.
she's, of course,
From
like, it
Africa,
seems like she's a
from
mega
South
church
America, angelic forces,
pastoress.
angelic reinforcement, angelic reinforcement, angelic reinforcement. Fika hata anda ata ora bata rata anda eke eke manda rasata. For I hear the
Just
sound of
a
victory.
bunch of
I hear the
nonsense.
sound of victory. I hear the 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 sound of.
Anyways, that's that. And then this picture, you know, somebody wrote this. This is, you know, she's supposedly she left her first husband, dumped the second one after cheating on him, then married a member of the rock band Journey, broke into the band's bank account and embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars after committing fraud and running a Ponzi scheme. She's now in charge of the White House Faith Office. You know, I don't know what this lady's saying, that I can't confirm that that's exactly what happened, but it's just, I mean, just the image also with her and these random guys sort of laying their hands on Trump. Just, it's sort of, it's definitely a false Christianity, and it's quite embarrassing. And to sort of institutionalize this type of person into the government. Of course, I'm not surprised because, as I said, the sort of the Christian right, quote unquote, sort of like the evangelical right, I guess you could say, has always been filled with very cringy, sort of strange Protestants that do not reflect, you know, classical Christianity. And I'm not even talking about just Catholicism, but like Orthodoxy, or sorry, the, you know, Eastern Orthodox, the Anglicans, the Lutherans. It's such a bizarre part of Christianity, and it's basically these types of people use Christianity like a piggy bank, using God as a piggy bank, sort of just to make sort of money and to gain their own fame and push their you know, their works, and sort of push it off as if it's, you know, directed from God for them to do such things. Anyways, that's kind of mainly what I wanted to point out today. I will be back. I'll be releasing an episode I did with AI Shire Homelander, just probably tomorrow. You know, where have all the based movies gone? But yeah. Brendan says, I thought she was going to have a heart attack. Yeah, she's, you know, she's just trying to make it seem like something's happening. She's trying to make it seem like, oh, she's having some spiritual event take place. And of course, it's just sort of all smoke and mirrors. It's not even that. She's just kind of repeating stuff and, you know, moving fast and just kind of, you know, bobbing her head up and down. Like, there's nothing spiritual about it. She's not praying. She's just saying things. She's just saying things and then mumbling in order to make it seem like she's, you know, being affected by the divine. But anyways, if anybody has any questions, I know Brandon, you had a question. If you're still there, please feel free to ask the question in the chat, and if I can't answer it now, I'll try and answer it some other time. You know, we'll have a more, you know, prepare questions if you are interested, you know, next live stream. I'm happy to take people's questions and incorporate this into sort of into these episodes, while I'll be releasing, you know, just not non-live content for the rest of sort of the weeks and stuff like that. Did Mara Brankov betray the Orthodox Christians? Yeah, okay, I will get back to you on that. I'm not familiar, so I'll probably reach out to somebody who's more familiar with that. I appreciate the question, and I will do my best to get back to you on that. Early or like Orthodox Eastern Orthodox, or which I imagine that is, or Russian Orthodox or something like that, is not my specialty. So I will get back to you on that. And if anybody else has anything, just put it down in the chat. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure. I hope you guys are all doing well. And if you like this content, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out the link to ProselyTies so you can get a discount on your ties. Okay. Yeah. I will look that up, Brandon. Thanks for the question. I'll probably reach out to somebody like Apostolic Majesty. He probably will know the answer to your question better than I do. So thank you, everyone. Like, share, comment, subscribe. God bless everyone. Bye.